right, today we're going to talk real quick about making a contact sheet from your negatives that you can just print out and put into your album where you store your negatives. So you have a quick reference as to what the images kind of look like without having to see in orange. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a Nikon D850 with a AF Micro Nikkor 60mm 2.8D, and we've got a light table here. It's just a cheap one that you get off of Amazon. We got our negatives in the clear sheet, just laying on top of it. And I've got, the title up here at the top is going to be in the frame, so we'll see it. All right, now I got to stand up a little bit here to do this. So alrighty. So we're going to focus on our negatives here. And we're going to take a few shots. Alrighty, that's all there is to it for that part. Now we will go over to the computer and do the rest. Okay, now that we've taken the photos, we're back at the computer. We've put them in the computer. They're copied to our hard drive. And I'm looking at them in DxO PhotoLab 9. Now, one thing that you can see right off the bat is it looks just like a sheet of negatives. It's orange, and we got it on a white background. So, kind of awful looking and not very useful to us. So what we're going to do is, we took 3 images. We're going to first see which one of these is the sharpest because, macro lenses are a lot like telephoto lenses, and you got to be very careful of camera movement. So you do get some camera shake, and you got to be careful, especially, I was just hand holding it, no tripod, no nothing, no camera stand. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just check each one at 1:1, and we'll see which one's the best image. I mean, this is just to give us a representation of what the negatives look like once they've been inverted and come into a photograph that doesn't have an orange tint, right? Okay, so let's go in here. We're on the first one. Let's jump in at 1:1. And you can see right here, that's a little soft. I'm not too thrilled with it. The next one, the second image, this is much better. It's much more in focus, and I think it's probably sharper as far as the focus goes, and we're seeing just a little bit of the plastic sheet that the negatives are in. All right, so the third one is like the first one. It's soft. We missed it or got camera shake. All right, so we're going to work on this one. So we're going to go back out to full image, and now we're going to go into the develop section here. Okay, now in the first part, we're not going to do a whole lot to it yet. We're going to come back to this. All right, we're going to go to the second one here, which has all your color. And we're not going to touch anything up there, but we are going to scroll down here to the bottom, and you've got this section called Scanned Film Optimization. Okay, so this is really helpful for what we're doing. We don't have to have, Negative Lab Pro or Negafix and scanning software and go through everything. We just took it with a camera, and we're going to convert it with this in our normal editing software. So if we turn this on, and then we come down here to right under it, it says invert negative image. If we check that box, it does an inversion on it. Now, it's not that great. I mean, it's really cyan, and it's not what we want. But here's the deal. Okay, so you've got all the channels. You can adjust everything with the master channel, which is RGB, and affects everything. You can zone in just on the red channel, just on the green channel, and just on the blue channel. But before we jump into that, if you go up here where it says preset and you got linear, that's what this is. we've got 13 different settings here other than linear. So if we just kind of roll our mouse over it, you can see they start changing, do a little bit, something a little different each time. Okay, there, 6 isn't bad. 7's not too bad. 8's not bad. 9's not bad. Oh, 10, terrible. 11, 12, and 13 are terrible. So we're going to go back and check one of these. I think 6 is the closest as far as the exposure goes. So we'll go with 6. Now then, you can see right now we're looking at the RGB channel, the overall channel, the master channel. And we can adjust this line. And we can get all kinds of things going on here. But what we're going to do is, because it's a little bit on the green side, I'm just going to jump over to the green channel and take the middle point here and just slide it over to the right, the right just a little bit until it gets to where I think it looks good. So I'm happy with that. Now then, let's go back to the main exposure settings and let's see if we can do something with the maybe the exposure, or let's see, we can just bump it up a little bit. See, if you slide it, it'll go all the way up, it'll go down. We don't want to go much though, we just need to go a little bit. And I don't really want to mess with the highlights and the shadows, because to be honest with you, with negatives, it's a little bit different than a digital image. So we're going to leave it just the way it is so we can just see the image. Now, if we hit 1:1 on this now, and we look at the images, you know, you can see the detail. It gives you just enough information to see what is going on in the images. And this was taken with a point-and-shoot camera, so don't blame me if they look a little bit blurry. This was an old Olympus stylus point-and-shoot that we were testing. Not too bad, but it is not a Nikon with a high-dollar lens on it. That is for sure. So we can see all the images, and it gives us enough detail to where we can understand what it is. And so now all we got to do is print this out. So let's see if we can start that. Okay, now we've got it selected. Go File, Print. We're going to do it to the Epson. I've got just regular paper in it. There's no photo paper or anything, because, you know, this is just a record for us to be able to see what the inverted images look like. So I think everything looks good. Make sure this is just plain paper. Plain paper, and quality is normal. And let's give it a shot and see what happens. All right, now we've got our negative sheet and a print. Just on regular paper, so it's not super high quality. It just gives you everything you need to be able to put these together in your notebook and have a reference image for your negatives. That's all there is to it.